not is the fact that it gets dark a little bit, early.
Yeah.
So you don't enjoy the long nights anymore.
What was that song? The Freaks Come Out at Night.
That's on
So
the weekend, not
oh
every
no,
night.
that was Alexander O'Neal with
I know, but they don't do it
Monday,
every
Tuesday,
night after
Wednesday, Thursday,
12.
Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah,
Remember that
yeah,
song?
yeah, yeah.
My audience knows that song. But look, welcome to the show. We have a different type of show today, but it will be enjoyable nonetheless. Tyrone mentioned that it is fall, so because it's fall, we want to get you in the fall spirit, and to get in the fall spirit, you have to be able to look at the foliage and the leaves, and we haven't gotten there yet, but we have a really nice thing that we put together that will remind you of the fall season, and that's going to be something that you can look into and be excited about. I like summertime because, as you know, my birthday was in August, but I also like the fall as well because you get an opportunity to wear your sweaters and
So
things
that's
like
why
that.
I felt a little bit different today.
What?
Your birthday's in summertime. The whole month of August is your birthday, and
That's
you're,
yeah,
oh,
you
okay.
got it.
I
So
just
now
felt a little
we're
bit.
in the fall season, and the slide that we have to show you for fall is basically something about the showing you the trees and the foliage, and you're falling into the fall. So Tyrone always talks about the fall season, and when he talks about that, he talks about his you fall into fall, and then we're going to fall for Jesus, and we're going to have our pumpkins and our trees. So just make sure that you enjoy each season.
Yes.
And he talks about your four seasons and tell them, what happens each season.
Well, they overlap. So January to December. January starts, cold. That's your winter season, the dead season.
Mhm.
So parts of the world it snows, other parts it don't snow. But even though it does not snow, people still have a different feeling because they travel to different areas that they, visit people.
Right.
So with that season, it's a lot of indoor stuff, a lot of, even with the schools. In January, a lot of schools are on break, so they go back home. Okay. We jump to the March, which is spring.
Okay.
So now the snow is starting to melt and it's starting to get a little warmer, especially in New Jersey, the tri state area. So then that's when we start to put our stuff in the ground that we want to see grow,
Right.
whatever vegetables or flowers or whatever things. But with that season, that's bringing a lot of that stuff off of your heart, from the flu season, from, picking the kids up and then being so dark and it's like it's gloomy. So the spring is starting to bring you out of it.
Hmm.
Then we popped into the summer.
Right.
The summer this year, from really different from last year, COVID kept a lot of people still in away from restaurants, bowling alleys, and everything like that. This year, people actually went out, they masked up, and they got on a plane. They enjoyed the beach. They enjoyed all those things. So the summertime with that high sun got people rejuvenated. So I want you to keep that energy and that mindset going into the fall because I told you that the fall we usually let things fall off of us. The leaves fall down, things fall off of your shoulders. A lot of, mindsets that we have that are not in a good space, we want to let them fall off. So those are the four seasons that I live by. So the day for me was a nice day, coming from yesterday to the day, going into that summer fall transition.
So I think that this show talks about fall, and we don't want anyone to fall off of what you've been
Yes.
doing for yourself and making yourself better and improving yourself. And that's what we're here for at Time Fitness. And we meet you where you are. So wherever you are on your fitness journey, on your health journey, on your spiritual journey, we're here to help you get there in a timely manner. So today we want to talk about because you matter, and we want to put yourself first, and we're going to have some check-ins from the audience, and we have a show that's full of a lot of information, but we want to be very slow and thorough because it is important that you work from the inside out.
Yes.
And so often we work on the outside in.
Mm-hmm.
We look good outside, we smell good and all that stuff, but what's really going on your inside? So this part is we want to reintroduce yourself to you. And then it's not to the old you, it's going to be reintroducing yourself to the new you.
Yes.
So that's really important, because with the fitness challenge, with all the new health things that you're doing, visiting your doctor, you're working on that part. Now we have to work on your inside and your mental, about how you're feeling about yourself, how you see yourself, who you're hanging out with. You know, what did they say? They said you make within $2,500 of your friends. And so I don't know what that is for all of you, but you might have to find some new friends.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends on your friends. But on a serious tip, it's important that you realize that you matter. And because you matter, you want to reintroduce yourself to you. So Tyrone thought that would be something too, to talk about the different stages and how you look in the mirror and how you really analyze yourself, because so often we don't do that. We put on a facade,
Yeah.
and we don't really get down to what's really going on within ourselves. So Leslie Speaks was really passionate about what we were doing, and she gave us the opportunity, and that's our sponsor for this week and next week. She gave us the opportunity to choose the last two topics. So that's why we chose Because You Matter and reintroducing yourself to you.
So, and with that being said, Leslie is so wonderful. You know, she's just been there for so many people. And with me, my mom, my grandmother, Joetta's mom, a lot of people that watched me grow and become the person I am, they always had a little things of encouragement to say. And at times I wouldn't know what they were saying until I got into a situation where, you know, I was either sick, tired, or just confused at times, and I needed one of those people, especially in that woman world, to tell me how to come back to me. And that's what the thing was, reintroducing myself to me, because sometimes you get overwhelmed, and I got overwhelmed at times because I'm trying to do 5 things at once. I had a baby, I'm a head track coach, I'm fighting fires, people asking me to do this, do this, do this. And guess what? No sleep, no rest, burning out. My mom said, be careful because you're gonna run yourself down. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital. You know, so a lot of times you have to slow down and listen to other people. They see your path. And my mom saw it, and Joetta's mom used to always, you know, make sure I was okay. So right now, what I do is when I wake up in the morning, like Joetta said, I look in the mirror and I just check myself out, because I'm not impressing anybody out there. That's not my job. I'm not supposed to go out there to show you how good I am. I'm supposed to show me how good I am first.
Right.
You know, my talents and my skill sets are within. So if I'm giving it to you, I want to, you know, see if I'm good first. If I wake up in the morning, T, come on, you can do it. Let's go. And I'm ready.
And when you do look at yourself in the mirror, it's not about looking at your physical part. It's about having that honest conversation with yourself. We always say, you may fool the whole world down the pathways of life and get pats on the back as you pass, but your true reward will be heartache and pain if you trick the person in the glass. So that's why it's so important for you to look at yourself and do an introspection of yourself. And when we do that, we want you to find out what's special about you, what's good about you, what you like about you, what makes you different from anyone else, what gravitates people toward you. Focus on those things, and we want you to write those things down, because that's all that's good about you. And then also, when you write down the good, you write down the things that you want to, that you are not pleased with, be it your eating or spirituality or your patience, whatever those things are. So that is where you start. You start first with looking at an introspection, not just in the mirror, how handsome or attractive you are, but really, what are you feeling? What do you think about yourself? And then what do you want? What changes do you want to have?
And of course, what a lot of people do this, the world, I don't know if we just got used to it. What's your favorite body part? People say chest, arms, back, legs, whatever. But throughout the years, at 56 now, I know what my favorite body part is, in my heart, because I didn't realize how much pain, stress, pulling, and things that was going on with my heart. And then when I learned how to relax and enjoy every day, I remember giving Joetta a post maybe 2 days ago, and the only thing I said was, Joetta, I'm just breathing in this fresh air. And just to even think about, I can breathe in this fresh air in September, where December I couldn't do it because I was on oxygen for 5 days. So my heart is my favorite body part for me.
And then I think that when you talk about your heart, you all have your own favorite body parts. But I think it's important for you to realize that no matter what you're going through, when you write down what you like about yourself, and then you write down what people say about you, there should be some kind of connection. And sometimes they're not. People think that you're intelligent, that you're witty, that you're fun, and then you think of yourself as boring and that. And so what people see about you really is how it is. And so you should embrace that. So I think that, I did this assignment as well. I wrote down what I liked about myself, what people said about me, and I saw if they matched. And then I wrote down what I didn't like about myself. And it took me 28 days. I went through a 28-day period. And what I was able to do was come together with something that works for me. And I think that this assignment will work well with you, because when you do that, it's like you come to your senses.
Yes.
It's like, I'm living and thinking this way, and this person's thinking this, and you go, wait a minute, pump the brakes a little bit. Let me get back. Let me start to reintroduce myself to the new me. And the new me may have some of the old things, but it should be a list of new things, new visions, new directions, new victories. And you can only get that by really going deep inside and figuring out what it is that you like about yourself, and what are those things that you don't like about yourself, and having the courage to change. A lot of times you say, well, I'm this age, I'm not going to change for anybody. Change for yourself, because you matter. And that's why we said that, because you matter, we want to really hone in on steps and strategies that work on you physically, mentally, and if there's a spiritual connection for you, work on that as well. Have positive affirmations. A lot of times you don't do that. And I think Tyrone mentions about the enemy. You talked about the enemy and the inner me. And then the inner me, that's the INNER. And then there's the enemy. That's the ENEMY. And sometimes the enemy is inner me. So until you work on that part, you're not going to be able to get to where you need to be in life and feel that joy that we talk about.
Because things in life, what that gets me going is, just because this is a candle, this candle is not lit. So with the candle not being lit, it's just a candle. Once you light it, it's a fragrant candle where you can smell what's in the candle. So a lot of times I didn't know too much about fires. So I thought the fire, just like Joetta said, I thought the fire was the enemy. But I'm saying, how's the fire the enemy? But we need fire for cooking. We need fire for other things, to use it to put a balloon up in the air, to send a rocket in space. So I'm saying, is the fire the enemy, or at times the fire becomes the enemy?
Right.
Because it's outrageous. You can't control it. Things you can't control is not the enemy. It's just uncontrollable. Water is not the enemy. We drink water every day. We got 60% in our body. But when there's a flood, a hurricane, uncontrollable, guess what? It becomes the enemy. So a lot of times that we put things in our mind that's the enemy, and it's really not the enemy. Your friends, the things they say, the things they do, the underlining things that they do, they become enemies. But everybody's not like that. So with me and Joetta, we have our little in-between things, but in 2 seconds it's gone, because it's just like a man and a woman have to realize that they can, do things together in unison at times. Like when we do things, Joe will say, I want to do the exercise this way. And I'm saying, I don't want to do it this way. I want it, blah, blah. And I'm saying to my mind, and then we wind up doing it, and it comes out, nice. And
I think too, we talk about, because you matter, and reintroducing yourself to you have to reintroduce yourself to your friends, because you teach your friends how to treat you.
And that's right.
And so often we're not really honest in those relationships. And then when people are asking you or saying that you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't do that, with your friends, you get upset. What matters most is what you think is important. And what matters most is how you feel about yourself. So write down, again, that's the assignment. Write down those points that you like about yourself, what people say about you that are good or bad, and then you do the same thing about the negative side. And then we're going to tell you what we want you to do with that paper a little bit later on. So right now we want to do a check-in. It's important for us to hear how you were doing this week. We talked about falling into the fall. So this is time for the Joe Time check-in. Does anyone want to check in to tell us about their day, how the Joe Time Fitness 28-day challenge is going, and to comment about you becoming better for yourself? So if you have a question or a comment or you want to check in, you can raise your hand or you could put it in the chat as well.
I'm checking in right now.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So this is my check-in. My check-in is the goals that I set on September the 8th. And right now we're in the third week. So I went from trying to do a 2.5 pound weight loss. I started at 190. The second week I lost 3.4 pounds. I got to 186. This week I actually lost another 3 pounds. So I'm at 183. So right now, that last 3 pounds is going to be tough, but that's a goal. It's a challenge. So even like today, my water is through the roof. I'm drinking so much water in between, I'm drinking so much water in between meals. And that's what's helping me out. I'm not hungry as much.
And we talked about that as well. We have a question here for someone to unmute themselves. We can't see the name, but you have your hand up, so we want you to chime in to the check-in.
Is that Leslie? Yes.
Okay. So you have a question or comment?
I actually was checking in as well. I was waiting for Tyrone to check in. And hello, Joe Time Fitness. I am excited to check in. Yes, I am under ECC LP and a different device today.
Yes.
But I am very excited to check in. On the first week that I weighed in, I did a little promo on the Joe Time Fitness page for it. I lost 1 pound.
Okay.
And I thank God because I had started eating what you suggested. I've stuck with it. My lifestyle change, rediscovering myself has blessed me. I checked in yesterday. Yesterday, I checked in on my birthday. I lost an additional 4 pounds.
Wow.
I am like out of this world.
Yes.
I feel so much better. I feel so different. And I was so excited about it. I want you to know that there has not been a birthday to come that I don't order a special cake that I like for myself. And it is absolutely delicious. I was so excited that I did not even celebrate with a birthday cake.
Wow.
Even at dinner, my husband tried to order a cake, but I was just so excited of where I've come and how I feel. More importantly, I mean, the weight is good and I'm happy because I think I'm losing inches as well. I'm able to do even better with the workout.
Wow.
I tell you, I feel great. I'm checking in Joe Time Fitness and I'm feeling good.
Thank you.
Thank you for that testimony, and you stick with it. This is day 14 of the fitness challenge. So thank you for hanging in there. We have another check-in from Tiffany. Okay, we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, there we are. So yes, I did have a check-in. I wanted to say that I have been following the challenge exercises. I think I've admitted this before in one of the videos that we sent in. So everybody, I want to see other videos from you guys, but that the food part is a little challenging for me. And instead I have been reintroducing other forms of movement. So running my errands. And today, even though between the rain, I picked up my kid, I walked to pick him up.
Yes.
And we walked home. So I'm trying to just,
Yes.
get more movement
Mhm.
instead of driving to around, the 5-block radius, actually walking.
Yes.
Which is good. And then I also wanted to say that I'm more conscious of what I'm eating. So, even if I do have that ice cream, on Sunday after family dinner, I am aware of the ice
Yeah.
cream and making sure that I don't, have anything else sweet for the next couple of days. So,
Well, thank you. Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing. We always say sharing is caring. So thank you for sharing. And we do care that you're doing that. And I
Yes.
think that when Tyrone and I were talking about this being a lifestyle change.
Mhm.
So even though you may still have some ice cream or do some of the things that we would like you to adjust, the fact that it is now your frontal lobe.
Yes.
So now
Right.
you're thinking about it, whereas before you did not think about it. So what we're doing is we're reintroducing ourselves to the new you. And that's something that your
Yeah.
old self may not want to go down kicking and screaming. But you got,
Yes.
yeah. So but I think you're gonna win that battle. But thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're at the time now where we want to go to our Joe Time health tips, and these health tips are very important. And we always tell you that we just don't want to have you on the show and not getting information that you can use throughout the day, throughout the week, or throughout the month, or throughout your life. So these health tips, he thinks about them, and we go over them, and we present them to you because we want you to try them.
And this one right here is very important, especially for those, people that stand on their feet a lot, walk around a lot, the women that wear heels all day, men like, Joetta with the heels on, and like me, I'm always moving. So with this elevating your legs, there are different ways you can do it. You can put it straight up on the wall. You can get a couple of pillows to put underneath you. You can get a chair. And this is the reason why you do it. Elevating our legs at or above our heart helps the blood from pooling in our lower legs and improves blood flow to the rest of our body.
Mhm.
We should elevate our legs at least 2 to 3 times a day for 20 to 30 minutes. If you don't have that time, just get in the bed while you're doing, stuff with the kids or trying to wind down and watch a little TV.
Yes.
Just put your legs up. Every morning is good, especially for women, because your blood flow is totally different from ours. Okay. And if you have pain or swelling in your leg, it lessens the pain, and if you can lay on the floor with your legs up, that's a little bit better because now what you're doing is all that circulation, all of that stiffness, all of that pain is coming down.
Mhm.
Because imagine standing up all day. Now your heart is pushing out blood to all parts of your body, all the way down and coming all the way back up. The only reason that they say resting heart rate is because we're lying flat. Now, guess what? Now the heart rate in the blood goes like that, lateral. So when you put your legs up, it brings it back down.
And I think too with this, athletes also use
Yes.
this, and I did this a lot when I was an athlete for recovery in between
Mhm.
races and after practices. So we also show you alternatives. So if you cannot get your legs straight up
Yes.
on your wall,
Yes.
and please do not have your shoes on and your
Yeah,
sneakers
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Take off your shoes. We don't want you scuffing up your walls and everything. But if you can't go up that high, there are different alternatives for
Yes.
you to go. So at Joetime Fitness, we meet you where you are. So
And like Joetta was saying, that was one thing that helped me out a lot. I would fight a fire for 2 or 3 hours, exhausted. I would go back, take a shower, and put my legs up, and I would recover much faster than the other guys. Because imagine this: you get back to the firehouse, 2 more minutes, you might have to go to another working fire, and you're standing up, you're walking around. So get that blood, that heart a break sometime. Let that blood come back down,
right.
and refresh your heart again. Now with this right here, the reasons why you don't crush your legs. A lot of people are just, what we do is we creatures of habit. We watch people on TV. We see our father, our mother doing it. Joe's father did it all the time.
Yeah.
Miss Dr. Clark got his legs crossed. And you can do it for a minute or two, whatever, but don't do it a lot because now you can't get circulation going through your legs.
Mhm.
It's really hard to crush your legs and get that good blood flow.
And today I was really conscious of this because I crossed my
A
legs
lot,
at
yeah.
the ankles. I cross them at the knees. And so when I was in my meeting today, I had to think about, when you have on a dress, sometimes you squeeze your legs so tight at the ankles. I had to really think about,
Yes.
don't cross my legs at the ankles, just stay, keep my feet
Yes.
together and hold my knees and sit up straight. So for me, that became a conscious decision to change of not crossing my legs. And I didn't think that was a big
Yeah.
deal.
Like
until you
even
shared
I'm
this
sitting
tip.
in the chair now, I got my feet crossed for a minute, but I don't stay that way. I just go back to being comfortable. Okay, so that's what I want y'all to just take these little tips, because as we get older, things start to go and they go in your joints, your knees, your elbow, your hips. Okay, these are things that's going to prolong, that flexibility. So we always give you a bottom line. And what's the bottom line, Joe?
The bottom line is to keep the main thing the main thing.
So I'm trying to say you can't see that.
I can see the bottom line. When you're tired and have a long day, take a rest. When you get home and you want to put your relax on your couch, just go to your bedroom maybe and put your feet up on the wall on your bed.
Yeah.
Try and do that first. That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
And if you can't get to your that 90-degree
Yeah.
angle, you can put your feet up on the chair. And also, this helps varicose veins.
Yep.
With
That's
you not
very important.
Yeah.
Like, so take a little screenshot of these slides, or it's going to be on YouTube so you can see it back then. But I have no injuries, no pain, no anything. And I fought fires for 25 years because I always did things to rehab myself. I always did that all the time. I took ice bath. I did a lot of things. And the gun that y'all see me with all the time, my massage gun.
Yeah.
To this day, I've been using that gun maybe 5 years now. And even if I don't have pain, I still use it to let my blood circulate.
So we hope that you take those tips seriously, because we do, and try next week when you call in or check in, or either during the week, let us know how that's going, how it feels, and what positions you were able to get into, and what alternative that you use with the pillows and things like that.
But I just don't want you guys to put them legs up. And you can do it on the bed with 2 or 3 pillows, fall asleep. Don't put it at 90 degrees. I told you 20 to 30 minutes. Don't put it up there and 2 hours later, because now, trust and believe me, feet gonna fall asleep. Too much blood is coming down too fast.
And take your time. It says 20 to 30
Do 10,
minutes. Do
yeah.
10, do 5, do 2. It works, and you work on yourself. It takes time.
And don't be trying to eat no grapes or nothing while you with your elevated legs, because now you can't digest that food.
Yes,
okay?
yes. So no shortcuts. Just follow those instructions.
I see you laughing, Leslie.
and don't get creative with everything here. So now we did the health tips, and we talked about how you're going to reintroduce yourself to you. The next thing we want you to do is to have hope for the fall season. So we wrote down everything. Now you write down the pros and the cons of what you think about yourself, the enemy, and then what your friends say about yourself.
Yes.
Now, here comes the fun part. The things that you wrote down that were the old you that you did not like, you tear those up.
Yes.
You tear those up, and then you keep them in a box. Don't throw them away. You tear them up, put them in a box, put them in a baggie, and hold on to that. And as you continue with the new things. So for example, if you said, I don't like the fact that I talk a lot, or I don't like the fact that I'm impatient. I don't like the fact that I judge myself. I'm really hard on myself. Yeah. Say those are the things. And then your friends are saying how nice you are, how kind you are, how considerate you are. And then you want to see what changes you want to make. So now you want to say, I want to be more patient. I am going to be less critical. I am going to think more positively of myself. And then when you do that, you're going to take those and you're going to focus on those every day. Yeah. And so you're going to check them off. And then on that piece of paper, you should have a lot of checks on those papers as to what changes you're making. Some days you may not do all of them. When I find myself in that negative, talking about myself in a negative way, I have to short circuit that. So I stop myself, I catch it, and I say 3 things that are positive about me. Even when someone says, when you're with your friends, and believe me, your friends will say so much about you, that say everything to try and discredit you and to take away the greatness about you, because they are ordinary and you are extraordinary.
Yes.
What you have to do is short circuit them. I say, okay, you said this about me negatively. What is something positive? Say something good about me. Because I've been in your presence for whatever the time is. It's been you to this, you to that, you to that. Say something positive. Then there may be a time when you say, I can't hang around that person anymore because they're draining.
Yeah.
And because you're working on your inner me, you can allow that negativity to be inside of you. And it's all about you right now.
And all of you guys that are on this podcast, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. And I know that you guys are very, very special, because I've been around a lot of people. I've been in a lot of situations, and some people don't go the whole distance. They don't. We can do the 28-day fitness challenge. Some people do a week, bail out. 1 day, bail out. We can do these podcasts. We at number what?
19 today.
19. Some people did the first 5, they got busy and they home, but that's on them. Because the thing is when I need an uplift and I need to like when I see Sharon and I see Cheryl and I see all of these people on here, that makes me feel so good, because I go through a lot, now with, my dad in Florida going through what he's going through. I'm always thinking about my mom. Joetta just lost both her parents. So, and Talitha and my daughter, they're still, doing their thing. One's in grad school and the other one's sophomore year in college. And they're away and they're girls. So everybody I just named are all females. And I always want to protect them and make sure that they're okay. My dad, my sister's down in Florida, making sure he's fine, and my brother and my other sister. But for me, I need that visual to let me feel that, okay, I'm relevant, I'm good, because some days when you're always doing everything by yourself, you're lifting weights, you're doing everything to keep yourself going. You need that extra, energy from somebody else. I
So you do. Well, that's funny that you said that, because you're talking about getting from someone else. So hopefully you have people that are in your space that are being positive and that you're not always giving. Because if you do have people that are in your space and you're constantly giving and fixing, you're still being drained. So even though you may need a pickup, you have to be careful who you're around, because by the time you pick yourself up and you deal with them, you're drained. So be mindful of that. And I think that when we're looking at what we want to do and where you want to go, you have to realize that this is the fall. You're shaking things off. Shake off negativity, shake off people that are not going your way. You can circle back to them. People are in your life for seasons.
I can't. I'm not good.
Yes.
I doubt that I can do it. It's too hard.
Yes.
Failure is a part of, doing something right. You can't win it all. I always tell Joe a lot of times, Joe, you're winning. And when she goes, in the beginning, she didn't know what I was saying. Winning in life, winning because at the age you're at, you're still getting awards. At the age you're at, you're still reaching out to people. Like you're celebrity, you're superstar, but things are still coming to you. And the only way they're doing it, that's God. Like you can always say, yeah, somebody like me, they want me to go speak. Yeah, somebody like me, they want me to do a track meet for them. Yeah, somebody like, no. It ain't got nothing. It got something to do with your heart and the way you've been doing what you've been doing for all these years. That's why you're still winning.
And that's the enemy. So the enemy sometimes says, like I said, things that I don't like about situations. But then when someone says you're winning or whatever, then my mind is like, well, if I'm winning sometimes, well, why didn't I get that? And I realized that appreciate what you have. It's not about what you don't have. It's about what you have. And I think that as you reintroduce yourself to you, you realize the things that you have, that I have my home, I have my strength, I have my health, I have people that I can go to that I can talk to. So I think that that is so very important in this stage, and to shake off anything, anybody that's getting in the way of where you want to go. It's about being selfish. It's about putting yourself first. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you don't do that, everything that you're doing now, all the books you're reading and all the self-help, you've read enough, you've seen enough videos, you've been to enough seminars, it's now time to take action.
Yeah.
And that's what we want you to do. Be proactive, not reactive. Be optimistic, not pessimistic. We want you to realize that you are valuable, And just because someone doesn't see it, doesn't mean that you aren't. So the enemy is strong. You can work through all of that. And I think that that is something that I'm trying to really convey
Yeah.
to the audience that are on Facebook and the ones that are on the podcast, is that you are special and that you matter.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what is going on elsewhere. What matters is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So that goes to your goals as well. So now you wrote down everything, you tore up the negative things, you put them in a little baggie, or you put them in a little box, so you hold on to that. And then all of the good things, the positive things, the new you keep checking off those things. You check them off,
Yeah.
and you start out for doing that a day, and then a week, and then 2 weeks, and then a month. And sooner or later, you're going to reintroduce yourself to you. And when you do that, it's going to be really,
Amazing.
really amazing. So we want to give you a positive affirmation. I believe in positive affirmations, and and we want you to take a screenshot of this and just believe this. Believe that you surround yourself with dreamers,
And the doers
the believers,
and the thinkers,
but most of all, surround yourself
with those who you see greatness within you.
And so that is so important. And I think that that affirmation speaks volumes. And I think that, and I believe that if you do that, surround yourself with people that are dreamers and that have positive things to say about you, you will start behaving like that.
Yeah.
And even at the age of 40 or 50 or whatever you are, 60, 25, it doesn't matter. We all have those doubts about ourselves, and we question, why am I not getting this? Or why should I get this? Whatever it is. But I really want you to go through these stages, because I went through, as I said before, 28 days. At the end of my 28 days, I was very clear. I had clear vision. I came to my senses on so many different things. And so I want to share that with you. So I'm really passionate about that. For those of you who are executives, for those of you who have their own business, for those of you who are going back to work, whatever your line of,
especially the parents. I mean,
parents, right? Parents.
I applaud. My daughter's 29. She'll be 30 in a couple of months. But I've been a coach, for 13 years in high school, and I did a lot of track and field training for kids from 6 to 18, and they looked at me like I was, Superman, Coach TJ. One of them would get hurt, or they won't go to their parents, they won't run to me. So I know how much you mean to your kids, and I know how much the coaches and the parent and the teachers mean to your kids. So you're all in one. And like with Joetta, it was just so hard for her to leave to go. She didn't go too far. She could have went to Tennessee or USC, but 2-hour flight to Florida is not that bad.
Well, I think too, what you were saying about being a parent, and then it's also important to realize that being a parent, being a spouse, or in that space, even though you're saying, well, I'm being selfish thinking about me, I'm thinking about the better you are for yourself, the better you can be for them. And there's going to be a point where someone always says something, but when you look at those checks, and if you're checking off the things that you wanted to correct, that's all that matters. And people that love you or who are supportive of you will see that, and they're going to say, you changed, girl, you changed. Or, guy,
that's
you
the first
changed.
thing coming out.
So when they say that, you keep changing. That means that you're onto something and that you're doing something right. So I think that that's so important to realize that when people start saying you're changing, it's because you're doing things right, and they see the growth in your words, in your voice, in your actions. So they see that, and sometimes they see you being lost, that they're losing a friend.
Oh yeah.
So what you're gonna do is reintroduce yourself to them.
That's right.
The new you.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Tyrone. Nice to meet you.
Right.
No. Nice to meet you.
All over
the old one, you keep it moving, and I don't want to talk to you. The new one can meet Tyrone.
And then you have to also tell them, they're gonna say, well, Joe, I remember when you used to. You don't go down that path of used to. Why? Because you matter. And because you matter, you're going to put yourself first, and you're going to continue to stay on that path. And every now and again, we all fall off and say things and do things that we shouldn't do. But that trigger will go off in your mind that I should not do that. I will not do that, and I'm not going to be turning back.
We're
So,
gonna go with a question from
questions?
Cheryl. Yes.
You have a question? Cheryl has a question, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's
Cheryl has one first.
oh, Cheryl. I see that number 5 from the University of Florida on your background, top 5 public schools. So, congratulations.
Unmute, Cheryl.
You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to start all over.
There we go.
Yes.
Here we go, right?
Yes.
First of all, this is a great topic. I'm excited about it. And I'm actually attending a Salesforce conference called Dreamforce right now. I'm dipping. I do multiple things here.
What is it called again? What is your conference called again?
It's called Dreamforce for Salesforce. CRM.
Okay.
And it's crazy how this is so tying in. Both of you guys are tying in right on time.
Awesome.
And we just had a session with Black women in their leadership role. So I'm just saying, I'm doing a challenge. I am drinking more water. My desk right now looks like a water. My Pepsi is slowly going away because I love my Pepsis.
That's good. Well, that's good.
Everybody in the office knows I love my Pepsis now.
Oh man. Congratulations to you, because I know what that Pepsi does. Man,
oh my God. It's a challenge. That's all I can. But I've been, for some reason, I have a better taste for water. Don't ask me why, than anything else.
And okay, I'm sorry. You can also make it flavored too. So you can put the lemons in there.
Leave it alone.
Oh no, I'll just leave it plain. I gotta go.
Okay.
As long as it's ice cold, I got a little freeze in the office. So no, I got it ice cold. I'm ready for it.
Okay.
But you know what? This topic is so true. When you lose a parent, or just have parents that are sick or anything, you really do have to refine yourself, because, I never thought I'd be burying my mom, or, and you just have to think about your relationship with your family, your sisters, your friends, and it just makes you relook at everything all.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for myself, I'm listening to this and I'm just like, this is so right on target, because I'm just doing a lot of soul searching on my own things too. Yes. But at the same time, I'm getting ready to hit travel, because Joetta knows I love travel, but at the same time, it does make you stand back and say, hey, wait a minute, where's my focus? What's really important? So this topic is fantastic, and
thank you.
Ongoing. Like I said, you guys are both winners, both motivators, and I totally enjoy these. I try to attend as much as I can, but enjoy this.
Thank you.
I'll let Sheila speak. I see her hands up there.
Okay.
And good luck.
And Leslie, congratulations on your success.
I know.
It's like everyone's becoming one big family now, because you've been on so many times.
Yes.
You remember faces, and so we have some old faces and a lot of new faces as well, and new names. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sheila.
Okay, well, Cheryl, I'm just like you. I'm very excited about this topic, because it's definitely what we're going through in this world, all the way from here to the other side. We're talking about Black Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, children matter, elders matter. And a lot of people are thinking about this type of thing right now and don't really know how to express it. We don't want to express it in gatherings with violence and different things like that. So I appreciate, first of all, that you're giving us some things to do for ourselves first, and to let others know that they matter as well. And I just have a question. How do you let people know, other people know, that they matter to you? Like, for instance, I like to give gifts. Yes. So I was just wondering to ask both of you, how do you let other people know? Because you do take care of yourself, but other people who are close to you and matter to you, how do you express that?
All right, so the Rolex looks a little bit good on my wrist on this one. Thank my sister for that gift. I'm giving it out there real quick.
Well, I hear your sincerity in that question, and you can always do gifts. I think that people in your life that matters, sometimes you find yourself going up and beyond, and they don't really appreciate it, and they tell you to stop. But I think that if that's what you want to do, you do that. I don't think that you should stop. Whatever the gift is, whatever the phone call is, whatever the poem is, whatever it is, do that. Because one, it makes you feel good, but two, it lets them know that you locked into them and that you do care. So if you know someone likes flowers, or if you know someone likes, I don't know what it is, chocolate strawberries, or if someone likes books, well, then do that. And if they say no, then, you know, you keep doing that, because that means that you're tuned into what they like. And I think that's so very important that you do that. I like to give gifts. I like to get gifts. I like to be tuned into my friends, and that's who I am. So no matter what someone says or whatever, if I don't get anything back, that's fine. It's not going to stop me from being me and doing that.
Mine
How
is
do you do that?
mine would be time. Spent time with the loved ones, spent time with people, even when they don't, necessarily want you there. Sometimes when you get there, that's when they want you there. Like
Yes,
a lot of
yeah.
times people are just so isolated, and not because of COVID. Some people just are loners, but when you're around and you start talking about things in common and having fun and doing this and that, and they love it. So then when you leave, the first thing they're gonna do is say, "Oh man, I can't wait till that person come back." So I had a really good time with Joetta's dad a couple of months before he transitioned, because I had came down the year before and sat down with him, and he asked me so many questions. How are the black firemen doing in Oregon? How many they going, and how'd you like it at being a black? He was always saying those things, and I enjoyed myself talking to him, and he knew that I was into education too, because Talitha came out with 4.0. She's in college with a 4.0. My sister was a 4.0. I was 3.3, but that's another topic for another day. So, but the bottom line was, that's where I enjoy myself, especially people either a couple of years younger or a couple of years older than me. I like to sit down and give them my time if it's warranted, because a lot of times people, like I said, they're so standoffish.
And that's important too. People do forget about that. You talked about, I talked about gifts, Sheila, and that's important. But giving my time, giving your time is important as well. Giving the phone calls, if you can't physically get there, just being on the phone, being on FaceTime, and doing that, and being consistent with that. So I think that is good, and that's also something that helps you stay grounded as well. So thanks for
My
asking
best
that.
times with my mom were sitting there with her while she would just watch Oprah or something, going through her final days, and I would sit there and just to see how she would just glow when certain programs came on. So I hope that's what's happening right here with us, is that we're spending an hour on a Wednesday evening with you guys because we want to be with you.
Right. And I think that we talk about shows, even if you go over and watch one of those shows, my mother and father watched Family Feud. And even if you sat there while they watched it, that's important. Even if you go to a friend's house and you like to watch boxing and they want to watch a home show, watch the home show. So I think that is called growth and maturity, that you realize that other people matter and continue to, if you want them, in your space, in your life, continue to pour into them, because ultimately you get something out of that as well. So we were talking the other day, and I talked about a scenario I heard about some situation with this. I was at an event and they were talking about their home lives, and I just couldn't understand it, because my new me was like, this is ridiculous. Why are you even in that space? But the old me was doing what everybody else was doing. Well, yeah, do that and do that. And I just couldn't even understand that concept. And then Tyrone said the reason that's happening was because they're getting something out of it. So if you're going to get something out of it, then don't go complaining to everyone else that this is not right. So I think that a lot of times you sit there, you may give someone your time, you may give them your energy, you may give them your money, and all they do is talk about you and complain. And the more they do that, that seems to energize you. That's draining. So if you have those situations, please make sure you stay away from that, because that is not who you are. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. So you are reintroducing yourself to you. And that old stuff that you used to do is not who you are, because it's in that little baggie now, zipped up. And I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do with that baggie in a minute. But we gotta pick up the pieces.
So the final piece to this puzzle
yeah, you got it.
is picking up the pieces. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard. I'm telling you. Like I said, when my mom passed in March the 7th, 2000, I didn't get it together for months and stuff like that. And I would take 3-4 showers a day because at that time I was giving her blood for 7 years and she went in remission. So I guess I was cleaning my body to get ready to, in case I had to give blood. But picking up the pieces was every night I fell asleep, I felt the presence over me in her spirit. And I felt much better as the weeks went on, the months went on, celebrating her birthdays and Mother's Day and having little things that remind me. My sister Sheila would always go by my mother elephants, and she had a whole room full of elephants. And so every time I saw an elephant, it reminded me of my mom and little things. I remember that day specifically, 3 o'clock, I'm leaving a bowling alley. I'm in my car and my sister Sophie called me and told me that what happened. So I just hit the sunroof and I just looked up and I just said a prayer and you know, and I was good. So a lot of times things that we're going through, it might be tough at times because people just went through a flood. You know, people are still going through COVID. Right now, 2 people today told me that they lost a father and a son in 2 months. You know, a husband and a daughter in 2 months. So it's just so much going on. Let it fall off, you know, take a deep breath, have the faith, have the hope, have the, you know, the energy to say, I can go to tomorrow. I can go to the next day.
Right.
That water that I'm putting in my system, it's the best thing that's happening to me. I've never felt so loose, like a fish.
I tell you, it's you know, it's funny when you said that. I could remember when your mother transitioned, and it's been over 20 years now, but those stories are still relevant, and you feel it when you tell it now. So I think that as you pick up the pieces, and this segment was short, but what I'm getting ready to say is powerful. Where you sit determines what you see, and what you see determines what you do. I'm gonna say that again. Where you sit determines what you see, and what you see determines what you do. So where you sit right now and what you're seeing right now, see something good, see something positive, see all the great things that are in you. And what you do about that is that you continue to grow. You continue to be more positive about you. You continue to make sure the enemy is not being affected by that enemy. And you make sure that you realize that the one thing that you can do that no one else can do to you is that you believe in yourself.
Yes.
And when it's all said and done, that is all that really matters, that you believe in this. And that little bag that you have, once you get done making all your checks and you have your new you, what you have to do is put those pieces in a frame. And that frame, you put it like a puzzle.
Yes.
You put it together like a puzzle, you frame it, and that is is a symbol of where you were and where you are now.
Yes.
And I think that speaks volumes. So when we have pictures of our family members or whatever awards that we have, that is also a huge stepping stone. So you put that in a frame and that becomes a puzzle. So this has really gone by. I had a shameless plug that I wanted to talk about, which was I will speak at an event next week. I have one tomorrow, but I have one next week where I will be speaking. It's called The Art of Thriving. And if you go to the website, which is Joetta Sports and Beyond, you'll be able to find out how you can register for that event. It's sponsored by Investors Bank. So that is huge. And then, Tyrone, do you have a shameless plug? Oh, that's a no. You're looking at me like, girl.
I always have a shameless
What's
plug.
wrong with you looking at me like I'm crazy? Yeah.
My shameless plug is I didn't eat lunch today. And I thought you was gonna bring a granola bar or banana, and what you do every week.
So wow.
So you got me from New Jersey to
Okay, I got
PA.
it. All right. And
I
he's
don't
starving.
even have water.
Don't have any water.
I don't want your Joetta.
It doesn't have any. You know what?
The first day of fall, and you just fell.
I fell.
I said, you know what?
I got you covered.
Nothing.
No, she got me covered.
This little hour ride to be a piece of cake.
Well,
Get
guess
all the way
what?
up here, that bag empty, my stomach empty. I'm good.
I don't know what to do, family.
You always have something.
I don't know if that's.
When was the last time you didn't have a granola bar for me?
I think we just got finished doing a session. He said about 5 negative things, didn't he?
I did.
So you gotta say
you all listen to the good things. You always have a granola bar. You always have a banana. You always have water. You always have something.
Was that butt put in there? BU, was that butt?
No, I said you just don't have it.
Okay, good. All right, cool. So we're good because you know me, I want to hear some positive affirmations.
So if I look like I'm about to pass out, please, somebody give me some H2O.
Some H2O. Well, with that being, well, he's a firefighter, so I know he will supply.
Retired, come on.
Retired, but he still has the skill sets. This show has come to an end. I want to thank our sponsor, Leslie Speaks. I also want to thank Beyond. Oh, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, if you want to be a sponsor, that's important. If you want to be a sponsor, please make sure that you go to the website, joettasportsbeyond.com. If you want to advertise with us, we have joetimefitness@gmail.com. That's JOTYMEfitness@gmail.com. And I just want you to know that you do matter. And because you matter, please take care of yourself from the inside out. Yes, we all want to look good and wear diamonds and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. I love diamonds as well. But the inner self, your inner self, that is what matters the most. And as I always say, and I don't know if Tyrone knows this by now, but I know he knows this quote, as do you. It doesn't matter what road you take, but what you become along the journey. So thank you for taking this journey along with us. You have a positive affirmation up there that we read to you. Yeah. And basically, the greatness is within you. And then Beyond Creative, that's our studio. And please, does amazing work. If you start out by going to the website, go to the website and see what he does. And then you can reach out to him for web designs, for videos, and for photos. And that's so very important to support the people who are supporting us. And as always, my jingle by Chrissy B Productions. She does a wonderful job and she does great jingles, great beats. So feel free to reach out to her.
And right now, this is what I want everybody to do because we're in the fourth quarter. Yes, that's my football, fourth quarter. We did the first week, second week, third week of the 28-day fitness fast. Fitness fast?
Fitness challenge.
Fitness challenge. Fitness fast. Okay. Fitness challenge. I know.
That's gonna be
so what? No. I ain't fasting no more, Joe. I'm already hungry.
Okay.
So we on the last week of the 28-day.
14. We have 2 more.
Two more weeks. I'm sorry. 2 weeks.
We have 2 more weeks. Yeah.
I'm gonna lose too much weight. What? I can't do that. I'm gonna be down to 160.
Well, I'll get there.
No. So this is still the guidelines for you guys. Okay. No junk food. Football has been on for 2 weeks. I haven't had popcorn, chips, fish, chicken, ice cream, soda, no nothing. I've just been eating carrots and fruit.
And granola
bars. Okay? So remember, no fried foods, no chocolate, no candy. And guess what? Joetta always gives me this little pack of the orange things. The mouth things.
Oh, the Tic Tacs.
I didn't even eat one in 3 weeks because it's candy. What? I just get the plain mouthwash and just gargle. So no sugar, fruity drinks, no eat small portions, 64 ounces. Stay at the 64. Keep it up. Limit your caloric intake. Today I'm probably at 400 calories, thanks to Joetta. Warm up before and after exercises. Get your 6 to 8 hours sleep in. Weigh yourself. Like I said, this morning I weighed myself. I'm in already. And, you don't have to do the beginning and the end. Some people are doing that. They weigh themselves the first day and they're going to wait to the end. But Leslie, you're doing a phenomenal job. So let's go. Let's get this next weekend.
Send those videos in, yes.
Yeah, somebody give me a nice little video.
To a fitness video about the challenge. That's what we want you to submit. Yes. Send it to joetimefitness@gmail.com.
So that same picture that y'all see in the corner with me and Joetta, I was 195. So 10 pounds lighter. By the time I'm done, I'm going to take another picture and see if I got a couple of more muscles.
I'm sure you will.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Get your little tank top.
I don't know about all that, Joetta.
All right. Well, if you, like you said, if you got it, flaunt it. Then you
said that same picture. Is that the Joe Time T-shirt?
Oh, okay. All right.
So thank you for coming in to see us at the 19th podcast.
Yes.
And next week will be 20.
Yes, that'll be our last week for the not for the challenge, the last week of September.
Mhm.
And then we have a new sponsor, which we can't wait to tell you
Yeah.
about in October. So
Yeah.
in order to hear about that sponsor, you got to tune in next week to hear about the upcoming sponsor. But until next week, be safe. You matter. Put yourself first and work on reintroducing yourself to your new self.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll see you next week.